Welcome back, everyone. Today's deep dive is a little different.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
different good or different bad?
hopefully good.
Mm-hmm.
Different in a good way. It's all about you.
About our listeners.
Exactly. You see,
Well, that's not so different, is it? I mean, we always try to make it about the listeners.
right. But this time we're going to be looking at a specific journal entry that one of you sent in.
Interesting.
This is from something called the Wristband Journal. Have you heard of this?
I have, actually, yeah. Really clever concept.
For those who haven't, tell us a little bit about what this is.
Well, it's the brainchild of this guy, James Rush. And the idea is pretty simple, really. Each day, he takes some, nugget of wisdom.
Okay.
It could be from scripture, could be a quote from a book, really anything that resonates with him.
So he finds this inspiration, and then what?
He writes it down on a wristband.
A wristband.
Yep, wears it all day.
Interesting.
Kind of like a wearable reminder, right? Then at the end of the day, he reflects on it in his journal.
That's cool. So it's like a daily dose of mindfulness and self-reflection all rolled into one. Now, the entry that was sent to us is dated October 29th, 2024.
Hold on. October 29th. That's today.
It is. And the wristband for today reads, "Smooth seas do not make skilled sailors." Pretty thought-provoking, right?
Definitely.
And to make things even more interesting, he connects this idea to a passage from the Bible, specifically Acts 21. So I got to ask, what wisdom did James glean from that particular passage?
Right. So Acts 21, this is in the New Testament for anyone who's not familiar. It's the book that tells the story of the early Christian church.
Okay.
And in this chapter, we find the Apostle Paul embarking on this journey to Jerusalem. Now, here's the thing. Paul knows that going to Jerusalem is going to be dangerous. There are people there who want to harm him. But despite all that, he pushes forward.
Wow, talk about facing your fears head on.
Exactly. He's driven by his sense of mission, his purpose, James, in his journal entry, calls it his ministry.
I see the connection. Paul's facing a metaphorical storm, right? He knows avoiding it won't make him a more skillful sailor.
Precisely.
But hold on. You mentioned ministry. How does that tie into all of this? For a lot of us, ministry might seem pretty specific to, religion and faith.
Right. And that's where James, I think, has a really interesting perspective. He believes ministry isn't just about religion. It's about living a purpose-driven life.
Okay, I like it.
So, for a doctor, their ministry might be healing. For a teacher, it's educating. For an artist, it's creating beauty. It's about finding that thing that drives you, that gives you a sense of meaning.
That makes sense.
James sees his own life, his family, his work, his faith, all of it as his own ship to captain, his own unique ministry.
So we each have our own ships, our own ministries to navigate, and sometimes those seas get pretty rough.
They do. And James actually writes about storms stretching from horizon to horizon.
No escaping those.
Nope. And he seems to be suggesting that we shouldn't even try to escape them.
So lean into the challenges.
Exactly. Think back to Paul. His journey to Jerusalem wasn't easy. But his determination, his courage, his unwavering commitment, those are qualities that were forged in the midst of those challenges.
That's true. You don't develop those kinds of qualities just sitting in a harbor.
Nope. You got to get out there and face the waves.
Now, we've talked about Paul's ministry, his purpose. What about James? Does he give any clues about what storms he might be facing in his own life?
Well, the entry itself doesn't get into specifics, but here's what I find fascinating. He chose this phrase, "Smooth seas don't make skilled sailors," for today, October 29th.
You think it's significant?
I do. It makes you wonder if maybe there's a storm on his horizon, something he's anticipating, something he's preparing to face. And he's using this wristband, this wisdom, to kind of steel himself for what lies ahead.
Wow, that's a really powerful way to look at it. He's not just passively accepting challenges, he's actively preparing for them.
Exactly.
Which begs the question for all of us. What storms are we navigating right now? What challenges are we facing in our careers and our relationships and our personal growth?
Right. And maybe an even more important question is, are we avoiding any storms?
What do you mean?
Well, are there areas in our lives where we're playing it safe, staying in those calm waters because we're afraid of what might happen if we venture out?
You're saying that by avoiding those metaphorical storms, we might be missing out on opportunities for growth.
Exactly. It's those experiences, those challenges that truly shape us, that help us develop the resilience and skills we need to thrive.
So true. And it's not about going out looking for storms or creating unnecessary drama.
No, not at all.
It's about recognizing that challenges are a part of life. They're going to come whether we like it or not.
And when they do, we have a choice. We can either let them overwhelm us or we can face them head on and use them as opportunities to learn and grow.
To become those skilled sailors James is talking about. Now, I know we don't know exactly what James was facing on this particular day, October 29th, 2024. But it's pretty amazing to think that he was intentionally preparing himself for whatever storm might come his way.
And that he chose this specific wisdom to guide him.
It really makes you think, what about you? What storms are you preparing for? And what skills do you want to develop to navigate them successfully?
Keep those questions in mind, and until next time, happy sailing.
We'll see you all on our next deep dive.